What's happening, my beautiful people? My name is Mike LaBelle. Welcome back to the YouTube channel. You think we're gonna stop uploading? Not today, not tomorrow. Daily. We put in work daily, even throughout the down period of FIFA. Welcome back to the channel. If you're new, it's free to subscribe. Today we're looking at right backs. Best right backs, updated list, because we've had some new additions, new iterations. If you're here for the good material, make sure to like the video. I'm not gonna hold you up, but I do need your comments because we're using screenshots everywhere. I take all of your opinions into consideration, put them into the pot, put them into the basket, put them into the hat, and we're drawing name. That sounds random, not necessarily like this, but I am looking. And then I combine those opinions. I like to poll the community. What are we talking about for fullbacks and center backs? I need to make that video. Whether you love it, you hate it, it's a reality of FIFA 21. A lot of fullbacks are better used as a center back. So I will make that video, but that's not for today. Criteria: must be a right back or technically a right wing back. Very few players start as a right wing back from a default position. We have no icons as per usual. Not that it would shift that drastically. This is such a premium, cream of the crop position, and there really aren't that many icons that are sliding in, because you always ask me, maybe a Zimbrata here or Alberto there. Performance based, not looking at price points. I don't care. I'm just giving you better results. You want a value list, you want the cop, you want the drop, that's up on the YouTube channel as well. It just has a different type of criteria. I'm looking out for your pocketbooks. That's not today. And then no repeat players. If you've seen them once, you will not see them again. I don't care if it's a different iteration of the same player. That was a mouthful. Kleiber, and we're gonna quick fire this. I just don't feel right not including him. This should be part of the all-inclusive right back package. Maybe the best right back to center back collaboration that we saw early on. Still extremely viable up to this point. If you use Kleiber throughout a weekend league, you won't be disappointed. He's not gonna be a liability. We've just seen so many different upgrades. Otherwise, he'd be higher on my list. In fact, I'd love to know where you have Kleiber. Is he in your top 15? You leaving him off? You moving him up? We negotiating contract season. Lars Bender. Pretty special foot item. I used him last weekend league and the previous weekend league to that weekend league as well, just to see if he still had that resurgence, that touch. Good to go. Better as a center back than a fullback, in my personal opinion. And you might hear that a lot in this video. But with the uprising of Bundesliga introductions and German players, you need those link ups. This brings it together, and many of you completed this SBC. Good value. Valentino, which always makes me think of the designer brand that I own nothing of. Might be a woman's brand. Maybe you've bought something from Valentino, whether it's a purse or it's a new pair. I wanted to say sneakers, but I think they're gonna be more like high heels. I'm not familiar, clearly, but this was a pretty special player that kind of gets overlooked. As good as he is, I don't see him being used or rotated in that many weekend league squads. I think some people are missing out on a pretty special opportunity here, especially with the skill moves. Gives you an innovative, expressive nature. This man is one with the tree and the hilltops. He sees the views, shares those views, Instagram ready. Speaking of, at Mike LaBelle, IG, Twitter, Twitch, all the above social media platforms. Pick one, I'm there, in there, like swimwear. Not a great swimmer. Side note, unrelated, we're gonna keep it moving. Baku, maybe my surprise of any of the players that have been incorporated or listed out, put into motion. Paper to pen, pen to paper. Reverse that. Back it up, push it forward, pull up, pull out. I like Baku. And I got him as a player pick, which then had me use him and experience what he was all about, and I was pleasantly surprised, and I think he's earned this placement. But I also understand if you have him more on a stock drop. Not because he's not of good quality, but this is maybe the most competitive position outside of center backs. I couldn't believe the names that I had to leave off. Someone had to get dropped, and here we are. I'm sure the comment section is gonna let me know that I left off multiple players that they feel very strongly about. That's just the reality of this right back role. Kyle Walker, one of the fastest and most physical players in real life, and similar on the virtual pitch. It's just lateral movement's always been an issue. This is another one of those players or foot items that we only see shifted. It's kind of rare to actually see Kyle Walker used as a fullback. Not that he's not capable or prominent or progressive in that role, but he is better suited because of some of the offensive liabilities to be a center back. He's not going to give you some of the moving and the grooving. He doesn't have the best rhythm if you go to the club or you go to the bar, you're in the lounge. That would be one of those limitations or a disclaimer. And it's not terrible, it's just straight edged. Trent Alexander-Arnold. Team of the Year. So our first massive exchange upgrade promo where players start looking kind of funky. They look kind of weird. They look kind of premium quality. However, he kind of gets caught in between positions. Though fantastic fullback, also a fantastic center mid or a holding mid, especially at this time period. If you're dating back to when Team of the Year is released, we're looking late December, early January. We haven't had all these different upgrades and new iterations and promo on promo on promo. Therefore, his value is a little more on a stock increase, stock rise, market moves, market plays, as opposed to now we have seen the upgraded skills. We've seen better stat lines across the board. Just higher rated players that are more accessible and affordable. Mook. We're not talking battle rap, murder Mook. Though I love this in particular item because he also gives you those French links. I played him as a center back and a fullback, both extremely viable. He's gonna show up, he's gonna show out often. You can count on him. He's reliable, consistent. That's all you can really ask for at the end of the day. It's what you're looking for. Players that do not cost you games. Paredes, another overlooked player. Why is he not in the discussion regularly? No idea. Is it because he's Argentinian? He's in the Ligue 1? Why is he not on the discussion boards? This should be a pinned comment or its own thread on Reddit. Feel that he is being overshadowed, or he's going under that radar, or he's not receiving the spotlight or the flashlight. They're not shining all bright on this man, and he definitely deserves more recognition. Especially considering this league, I think I have him as the best fullback, or the best right back at least, in the French league. That's a big time league. You need those links. And PSG, that's easy alignment. Wan-Bissaka, many of you watching, you co-sign, you got your stamp of approval. You don't need the dirty Mike. You've got the dirty John or David or Daniel or Nathaniel or Darwin. If I just start naming names, we don't know where this is gonna take off. Jack Daniel, Jake from State Farm. Who is the guy from Target? I think it was Alex. Was it Alex from Target? I'm not doing as much of a deep dive into the player statistics, mainly because you know about them. A lot of these guys have been released. João Cancelo. I prefer him. I repeat, I prefer João Cancelo to Wan-Bissaka. Both Premier League. I haven't doubled down on the price points if we want to bring that into the argument, but I'm assuming that they're not far off from a price perspective or rating. I just think João Cancelo offensively is more gifted, more smooth operator, silky. His pickup lines would be at a higher quality, an upper tier in comparison to Wan-Bissaka. And it's kind of always been like that. From the beginning of FIFA 21, I've always preferred João Cancelo. So that's why I keep telling you, and I'm reiterating, rewinding, running it back, put on the record player, timeless, that there is preferential treatment based on subjectivity. That's why João Cancelo is at number 6. Tavernier, and I'll tell you what, might be controversial, but I would even include his 87 overall in the same position, even without the upgraded statistics, because he's that special, impactful, difference maker, explosive. Even with the 3-3, this guy was running the wings. Playing as a center mid, super sub, so many different roles. A true utility player. You asked for it, he delivers. You call, he's there. Earlier on time, never late to the party. He has respect for the organization, the club, the attitude, mediocre clout. Tavernier kind of came out of nowhere this year as well. If you really date back, a lot of people aren't diving deep into what he's doing on the actual pitch. Not to take anything away, but in FIFA, he became one of those icons or legends. The most physical man in FIFA. Just made a video. Dump fries. Dump freeze. He is dump trucking French fries. Clearly. And I was tempted to put him higher. No exaggeration, no BS. I used this man for the weekend. Impressed is an understatement. Stronger than any player that I've used, definitely in this position, maybe just in general. I truly have him as a specimen. If we could create more of this man in a lab, you would have the best weightlifters there ever been seen. Genetically blessed. And I felt that his movement, because this has always been a concern, is with Dumfries, does he have to be a center back? I don't think this version has to be that type of role reversal or flip-flop. He was good enough at cutting inside, 1-2s, hitting the wings, creating space, crossing, passing out of the back. I was very surprised, pleasantly. Ramos. And I would still recommend the center back option because this is one or the other if you're looking to complete this SBC format. But if you go with the right back, I still got him at number 3 overall. One of the best defensive players that we have seen in our lifetime. One of the greatest of all time. I don't know where you would rank him. I believe we'd have controversy debating exactly where he should finish. Is he the greatest defender of our time? Is he top 5? Is he top 3? Should he only be taken into consideration as a center back versus a fullback? There's many questions, and I need to know your full criteria of how we're ranking defensive players to make proper arguments. Mbabu. Only one word really needs to be used. Broken. Every weekend league I complain. I don't stop him. I don't lock him up. Whether I play against an opposition that is controlling him manually or just letting the AI do it, you don't get through Mbabu. He wins everything. Center back, full back. He is lock up, lock down. In the NBA, sometimes they sign players just to defend the other team's best player. That's what Mbabu's role has become. I don't even care if he can pass out of the back, and he can do that. I don't even care if he has the skill moves, but he has them. I don't even care about his confidence and composure, but it's present. His defense is so remarkable, unstoppable, overpowered. It's unbelievable. Mbabu is better than Varane in FIFA 21, if you're asking me, which you are, or I'm asking me, as a center back. Llorente, just 90s across the board. I'm not sure if we should really consider that he's amazing at a right back, which he is. You can play him as a center back, you can play him as a center mid, you can play him as a holding mid. All of those roles, and you have yourself an endgame player, which is pretty rare. 4 positions. I just think he deserves it. I've always enjoyed Llorente this year. Even with a 3-3, it just works. The flow is there, the positioning is there, the work ethic, the breaking up of the plays. I score goals with him. I step into space. There's confidence. The stats don't lie. It's in particular player. I'm not upset. I'm not mad if you want to do interchangeability. There's definitely some room. I would say in the top 4 or 5. I'm not sure if I would take players 6 through 10 and really move them in, maybe move them out. They're going to be roommates, but in the house in the back. We got the mainstay. They got the pool house. These sound like some very rich people problems. In New York City, we have none of the above. Good luck finding a yard, a pool, any sort of space. Maybe a balcony. Probably going to struggle with that as well. Forget about a terrace. We're going off topic. But if you enjoyed everything, make sure to drop some love, some self-love. If you're new here, it is free to subscribe. We've been uploading daily all year long. I appreciate all of you. Link up with me on social at Mike LaBelle. Let me know what you think. I'll use your comments, like I said, for the next video with fullbacks as center backs, because I'm going to make 2 different videos. One where we focus on traditionalist, and then a second one that go ahead, apply, meta, sweat, rat-tastic, tactical, or personnel inclusions. It's just the reality of the game. Why should we act as if that doesn't exist? I don't think that's right. But I have a lot more content coming out ASAP.